Hello there! Wow! Perfect! Wonderful! Well done!
Okay!
What's up everybody, the Nintendo Beast here. Today I've got an interesting video to do. If you can't tell by the title, it's me, Chris Pratt. Today I'm giving I don't want to say it's my hot take, but I'm kind of giving my opinion on all the content we've seen so far from the Super Mario Brothers movie. I know a lot of people are very excited. I know a lot of people are very unenthused by Chris Pratt's voice. So this is my opinion. Let's start from the top. Let's take it back to the original trailer that released for the movie.
Behold, the king of the Koopas! Open the gates! Attack!
That is but a taste of our fury. Do you yield?
I do not. I finally found it. Now who's gonna stop me?
What is this place?
Do not touch that mushroom, you'll die! Oh, I'm sorry. That one's perfectly fine. Come on, Mario!
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come!
So the first trailer released, and it's incredible, okay? So I know this is kind of like considered the teaser trailer of the bunch, but let's be honest. Bowser, Jack Black voicing Bowser was a dream come true. Jack Black's voice as Bowser is perhaps the shining star in all of the content we've seen thus far of the movie. And I am personally a huge Bowser fan. I've always been a huge fan of Bowser and all things Bowser in the Super Mario Brothers franchise, universe, extended universe. So maybe I'm a little bit biased when I say that Bowser is by far my favorite part of everything I've seen so far, but Jack Black just does an absolutely incredible job. Perfect casting, I would say. Perfect casting. The opening sequence in this trailer of the Koopa army coming in, facing off with the Penguin army, it's hilarious. Kamek is voiced perfectly. Bowser is voiced perfectly. No complaints, okay? Everything about it, mwah, perfect. Then we get to the second portion of the trailer, and Mario is being voiced by Chris Pratt. Or should I say, Chris Pratt is being voiced by Chris Pratt in this part. It's literally, like Jack Black, when you hear Bowser speak in the opening half of this trailer, you don't hear necessarily, unless you know, oh, it's Jack Black, then you can hear Jack Black's voice, like, as an undertow of his Bowser voice. But it's Jack Black playing Bowser. Mario, however, feels very much like Chris Pratt just talking in this trailer. It is literally just Chris Pratt's voice. I mean, I've heard some people say, like, oh, it's kind of like an Italian version of Chris. It's not. You're telling yourself that because your heart is broken, but the reality is, this is just Chris Pratt talking. In this trailer, and, you know, don't crucify me yet, because there's plenty more content to see here, but in this trailer, this is just Chris Pratt talking. Period. I know he doesn't have that many lines, and so, like, oh, well, how can you really judge it? All he says is, where am I? But, like, it's just Chris Pratt saying, where am I? That is it. So, and that was very disappointing to me. Toad? I don't even know. Toad is voiced by Keegan-Michael Key, which I love Keegan-Michael Key. Is that, because I've, in all the different content, all the different trailers and clips I've seen, it seems like the various Toads are voiced by various people. Was that Keegan-Michael Key's Toad? Because if so, bravo, sir. Bravo. Like, you can't tell. That is one that you genuinely, I personally, cannot tell that is Keegan-Michael Key. That is exactly what I would expect a goofy Toad to sound like. So, if that is indeed Keegan-Michael Key's Toad, incredible. Love it. Up there with Bowser. Bravo. Okay? But that's kind of all we get. We get Luigi at the end, and let me go into... I mean, you don't hear Luigi's voice in this trailer, but let me just comment on the character design, the world design. It's all beautiful. It's all incredible. It all reads Super Mario Brothers. It is, for all intents and purposes, flawless. I do not look at any character or any element in this trailer and think to myself, wow, that doesn't look right. You know what I mean? It looks great. It looks absolutely phenomenal from start to finish. Exactly what I would expect and hope from a Super Mario Brothers movie. Illumination is doing a phenomenal job animating this film. I'm super stoked. My only complaint is that it's Chris Pratt, man. It's just Chris Pratt's voice. And I'll get into my opinion and why I feel like Chris Pratt's voice just isn't acceptable as Mario. I'll get into that once we hear a little bit more dialogue. Let's roll the second trailer that came as part of the recent Super Mario Brothers movie Direct, we'll call it. Let's roll that trailer.
Okay.
Not sure if you know who I am, but I'm about to rule the world.
Wow, yay.
But there's one problem. There's a human, has a mustache, just like you.
Do you think I know every human being with a mustache wearing an identical outfit with a hat with the letter of his first name on it? Because I don't.
Bowser is coming. Together, we are going to stop that monster.
How? Look at us. We're adorable.
Oh, I got this. No problem. Yes!
Come on, Mario! Our big adventure begins now!
Ah! Get it off! Get it off! Get it off!
There's a huge universe out there. With a lot of galaxies. They're all counting on us. No pressure.
So the second trailer pretty much expands on everything we saw in the first trailer, adds so much more dialogue that we get to hear from the different characters. Maybe a little bit less dialogue from Bowser. Bowser had a good number of lines in the first trailer, not quite as many in the second trailer, but regardless, let's start with the look of it. Everything still looks great. All the characters are exactly what I would imagine. Had a little bit of a weird feeling when I saw Peach. I don't know if her face is too round or what the deal is. It's not a big deal. It's just a personal thing, but it's not important. I think the deal is, and I'll get into this with the voices as well a little bit, but I think it's because everything else in the movie looks pretty much exactly how it looks in the games as well, which is great, which is perfect, which is exactly what I would hope to see. You don't want to see some trashy looking Mushroom Kingdom in the big screen adaptation of this game series. But I think it's because everything looks so identical that even small differences in characters become very noticeable. So for me, Peach looks a little bit off. Mario and Luigi look pretty much on point. I think they're wearing I don't know if they're wearing long sleeves or what it is. Something about their shirts or like their appendages are too long or too short. I don't know. There's something off about it, but it's not important. They look great. I'm just being nitpicky at that point. Donkey Kong is, I think they noted as like the biggest transformation. He looks the most different out of all the characters from his video game form, but even so, he looks great too. I'm not mad at it. I wish I would have got to hear Seth Rogen's version of Donkey Kong. That's still up in the air. That has not been revealed yet, as of producing this video. But I'm excited to hear it. I'm excited to see. I'm hopeful, I should say. I'm cautiously optimistic, based on the Chris Pratt and the Charlie Day versions of Mario and Luigi. I'm hopeful that he leans more into playing the character of Donkey Kong, like Jack Black did with Bowser, and like Keegan-Michael Key did with Toad. As for the 3 stars of the trailer, I would say, you have Chris Pratt once again reprising the role of Mario, obviously. We get to hear more dialogue from him. We have Charlie Day voicing Luigi. For the first time, we get to hear his voice in a trailer. And then at the same time, we get Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach. Now, let me break these down, okay? So, in the Mario games, we hear a very high-pitched feminine version of Princess Peach. So being this like, Mario, kind of like, help me, save me, whatever, kind of damsel in distress has just worked for the formula. But in this movie, it looks like she plays a more realistic, more empowered, more hero-esque character, or hero-esque version of herself, which is exciting to see. And for that reason, although Anya Taylor-Joy's voice is a little bit deeper than I would have expected from Princess Peach, I think it's pretty on point, and I think it just sounds better than it would if it was, like, higher pitched like it is in the games. Like, I know with Chris Pratt, with Mario, a lot of people were like, do you really want to hear Charles Martinet the entire time reading like actual dialogue? Wouldn't that get super annoying? That's probably why they chose like an actual like actor to have all these lines rather than Charles Martinet, who is traditionally just woohoo and it's a me. I can hear it and I'm like, oh yeah, that is Princess Peach. That's Princess Peach, just like ready for action Princess Peach, if that makes sense. And for that reason, I am 100% willing at this time to profess that Anya Taylor-Joy, welcome to the Mushroom Kingdom. You are our Princess Peach. You did it. Jack Black, 100%, you are our King Koopa. Anya Taylor-Joy, you are our Princess Peach. Keegan-Michael Key, you are our Toad. I don't know if that's something like a title to be bestowed upon you. I don't know if you want that, but if you do, you are our Toad. Now on to the 2 more questionable voice actors. And that, of course, is once again Chris Pratt as Mario and Charlie Day as Luigi. I don't have a problem with Chris Pratt. I like Chris Pratt as an actor. I especially don't have a problem with Charlie Day. In fact, I actually would go as far as to say I love Charlie Day as an actor. I like him more than I like Chris Pratt as an actor. I love Charlie Day. I think he's hilarious. And I think he does an okay job as Luigi. His performance especially shines when you compare it to Chris Pratt. And this isn't to demean, Chris Pratt's performance. I'm not going to come in and bash him per se, okay? But what I am going to say is you have Luigi's voice in the game. Also, it's all by Charles Martinet. Charles Martinet does Luigi and Mario. But in the games, you have Mario's voice, and you have Luigi's voice that accompanies it, right? And they complement each other. They sound good together. And so I will go as far as to say that Charlie Day's Luigi complements Chris Pratt's Mario in a way that you would expect Luigi's voice to complement Mario's voice. It's more of like a nasally, a little bit more high-pitched, weaselly kind of version of... They sound similar enough that they could be brothers, and Luigi sounds like the weaselly Luigi, if that makes sense. So they complement each other well, I think, and I think Charlie Day's Luigi does well in that. With that said, it still doesn't read as an Italian plumber. It just very much feels like Charlie Day voicing Charlie Day. It does feel like Charlie Day is just playing himself, and his voice is just being used as the voice of Luigi. And you did get that little woohoo at the end, Chris Pratt doing it, and that's great. That sounded phenomenal. So I have no doubt in my mind that Chris Pratt could voice a good Mario, but it's not doing it for me in this trailer. It still sounds very much like just Chris Pratt playing Chris Pratt. And that's, again, my big, the nostalgia factor of everything involved in this trailer, right? The design of it, everything that you see, the Mario Kart, the Rainbow Road sequence, where you get that woohoo, phenomenal. It's so nostalgic. It's so great. It's exactly what I would hope for in a Super Mario movie, and that is why Chris Pratt and that is why Charlie Day just don't fit the bill. Going back to the fact that almost everything in this movie looks exactly as it would in a Super Mario Brothers game. It makes small things that look different stand out that much more. So when you have Jack Black playing Bowser, right, you have that low, it's not like, you're not hearing School of Rock Jack Black, or Nacho Libre Jack Black, Tenacious D Jack Black. You're not hearing Jack Black. You're hearing Bowser as played by Jack Black. And for all intents and purposes, it sounds really good, and it sounds kind of exactly how you would expect Bowser to sound if given real speaking lines, right? Same thing with Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. Same thing with Princess Peach, played by Anya Taylor-Joy. You have everything that looks exactly as it does in the video games, and so you expect to hear exactly what you would think you would hear in a video game. And I get this is like a big screen cinematic feature of Mario, but when you go so far as to make everything else line up so flawlessly, everything looks exactly like it does in the game series. A good example in this is, I think if you look at the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, it wasn't the same voice. Sonic didn't look exactly as he does in the video games. It's not a Sonic the Hedgehog game. And it's very obviously not a Sonic the Hedgehog game. It's not an animated film. It's not made to look identical or sound identical to the games. It is a live-action adaptation of the game, and so small differences in voice, small differences in character personality, small differences in character look, they're less noticeable because it is a totally new big screen adaptation, right? The reason it doesn't work as well with the Super Mario Brothers movie is because, for all intents and purposes, it is an identical reproduction of the games. So you expect to hear the same as you do in the games, the same way you're seeing the same as it looks in the games. So that's why it just doesn't work. That's why Chris Pratt as Mario just doesn't work thus far. And that's why Charlie Day as Luigi sounds good in comparison, but if you ignored Chris Pratt's Mario, Charlie Day's Luigi just doesn't really do it for me either. And again, this may be just personal taste, but this is just my perception. This is why I feel like Chris Pratt and Charlie Day's voice as the Mario Brothers just doesn't quite work. But with that said, that's the bulk of my opinion. Now let's jump into the third and final clip we've got here, and that is the first look clip, the first actual full scene from the movie that premiered first at the Game Awards 2022. Let's check that out.
Excuse me, everybody coming through. Got a big adventure happening right now. Just clear a path for us. If I could just...
Here you go.
Excuse me. Excuse me, everybody coming through. This guy's brother is going to die imminently. Out of the way, please. Just trying to clear a path. That's all I'm doing. He's gonna be fine. Chantrell, nice to see you, bud.
Does this thing work?
Yes, well, great. You just have to blow into it.
And up we go.
Wait up. Oh, okay, so these bricks are just floating here?
Just pop in this pipe and we're on our way.
Oh.
It's the only way to fly, man.
Oh, wow, love these pipes. Oh.
Here we are. Palace doors. Big, big boom. Come on! Woo!
So before I forget to mention it altogether, I do want to say how much I'm loving the musical soundtrack, featuring all kinds of original video game melodies and such throughout. I'm loving that. The world around them also looks awesome to some extent. And again, just being nitpicky, to some extent, I feel like, especially during the scene where they're walking through this Toad Village, it does feel like they're very much trying to cram as much Super Mario Brothers lore and like power-ups and coins and what have you. It looks like they're trying to pack as much as they possibly can into this movie, which I'm not mad about, but it does feel a little bit claustrophobic. But regardless, I'm sure that's probably just this scene. It's probably just for like the nostalgia value. Once we get into big like battle scenes with Bowser and the Koopa army and stuff like that, like we saw in the original trailer, I'm sure that claustrophobic, everything being forced down your throat, everything everywhere all at once kind of thing, I'm sure that'll go away. So I know I just went off on Chris Pratt and Charlie Day's version of Luigi, and we don't get to hear any more of Luigi's voice in this clip that was shared at the Game Awards this year, but we do get a decent amount of dialogue from Chris Pratt's Mario, and I have to say, for the first time, for all this content that's been released thus far, it's not a lot of content, obviously, 2 trailers and a clip, but out of all of it, this is the first time that I feel like Chris Pratt's Mario voice is relatively acceptable. And I'm hoping that this is kind of what he leans into. This is kind of what we should expect throughout the entire movie. Because it does, at least for the first time, actually sound like Chris Pratt is trying to have some kind of underlying Italian accent to his voice, and that's refreshing, right? He's actually trying to play the character. This is the first time that it's not just Chris Pratt playing Chris Pratt. This is the first time it sounds like Chris Pratt is actually relatively trying to sound like Mario, the Italian plumber from the Super Mario Brothers series. Still not great, but it's absolutely acceptable, I would say. If this is the voice that we hear through the entire movie, I assume it probably is, despite the trailers not really demonstrating that all that well. I'm assuming that this is probably the voice that we're going to hear, and if that's the case, then I would go as far as to say Chris Pratt's Mario is just downright acceptable. Not great, not brilliant, not even really good, but acceptable. Like, I'll be able to tolerate this and get to the end of the movie and be like, I love that movie. You know, if it's good, not just because it's Super Mario Brothers, but obviously there's going to be some level of bias. I am the Nintendo beast, for God's sake. I think if this is the voice that we get throughout the entire film, I'll be able to tolerate that a little bit more than the voice we had through the other two trailers. Again, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. That is Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, right? Totally unidentifiable, which is, I mean, it's great. I mean, he's really, if this is his voice, he's really getting into the role. Like, he's unidentifiable, which as a voice actor playing a character, he's doing, a flawless job, an absolutely flawless job, assuming that this is indeed the Toad that is voiced by Keegan-Michael Key. It does seem like there are many Toads voiced by different people. I don't think Keegan-Michael Key is voicing all the Toads. But again, the same kind of thing as I mentioned before. As this clip plays out, you see just how game accurate everything is. The world, the Mushroom Kingdom that they're navigating, at times feels claustrophobic, at times feels tedious, doesn't even feel like a real world. It feels like if you got free roam, like a free roam camera going through any Mario Brothers game, right? And you could just like roll the camera in all different directions, even in ways that, you're not supposed to see, behind the scenes kind of thing. That's what this feels like. It feels like you just have free reign of the camera in a 3D platforming Super Mario Brothers game, and you're just looking around. There's a city street below you, but it's just block, block, block. It looks like you're running through a Super Mario Brothers course rather than a conducive town, conducive Mushroom Kingdom. It's not what I would have expected the Mushroom Kingdom to look like, but with that being said, it is so video game accurate. It's both very, very cool, but also that is the reason why Chris Pratt's voice just doesn't line up. And it's going to be the reason why any small inconsistencies, I'll say, with the game, anything that sounds wrong, anything that looks wrong, even a little bit, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb, because the vast majority of what Illumination has done, and with the, I guess, voice actors, right? Voice actors and actresses, the casting director, the vast majority of the entire film, what they've done with this film is so video game accurate, so source material accurate, that any little discrepancy is going to be glaringly noticeable, I think. So at the end of the day, I am very, very excited to see this movie. I know I was a little bit critical. I was pretty critical. Maybe not as critical as some other people who are just downright hating on the movie. I'm certainly not trying to hate on the movie. I think Chris Pratt is gonna be fine. Seeing this Game Awards clip, I think Chris Pratt as Mario is going to be perfectly acceptable, as is Charlie Day as Luigi. I think those two together are going to complement each other. I think each of them on their own don't really fit the bill from what we've seen so far. Together, they will complement each other, and they'll make the movie work. The rest of the cast, so far, seems phenomenal. The animation looks phenomenal. The entire world that they're building here looks amazing. I can't wait to watch it. I'm hoping that it proves everybody wrong who has been complaining about Chris Pratt. I'm hoping that Chris Pratt can prove everybody wrong, I should say. I'm hoping that Charlie Day can prove me wrong. I don't know how many people are really complaining about Charlie Day's Luigi. My bottom line is I've been waiting for so long to see a Super Mario Brothers movie, and we're finally getting it. One way or another, unless it's a complete and utter mess, I'm probably going to love it. Chris Pratt or no Chris Pratt, Charlie Day or no Charlie Day. I think I'm going to absolutely love this movie. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of all of the Super Mario Brother movie content, the 2 trailers, and now the new clip. And I think there was like a TV spot that played during the Game Awards as well, but I'm not totally sure if it actually had any new footage. I think it was just a short mashup of all the footage we've already seen in previous content. I'm not totally sure, but let me know in the comment section below what you think of Chris Pratt, what you think of Charlie Day, what you think of the entire ensemble cast of voice actors in this movie. Who do you think is doing well? Who do you think is doing crappy? What do you think of the movie so far? What do you think? How do you think it looks? Let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to have a discussion with you guys down there. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel here on YouTube and ring that bell for notifications for when I start doing live streams again, hopefully very, very shortly into the new year, as well as when I upload new video content such as this. I upload new videos to my channel every single weekday, Monday through Friday of every single week, so you don't want to miss out. Make sure you're getting those notifications. Join my Discord server. If you jump over to my YouTube channel here and you look at the top links in my header there, you'll see a Discord link. Join my Discord server and join the discourse on Discord. Make sure to smash the like button on this video and leave me a comment in the comment section below like I already said. I feel like I've been talking forever, so I'm gonna shut up now. Let me know what your opinions are in the comments, but until next time, I am the Nintendo Beast. Thank you so much for watching.